Real YouTubers make a video that nobody asked for, but they make anyway. I do not want to be dramatic here, but I feel obligated to tell you all. There's so many socks on the ground right next to me. There's actually an absurd amount of socks on the ground. It's a lot. Anyway, so, as I spoiled in the intro, today's a video that nobody requested, but I thought was going to be funny. Now, before we go any further with this, I want to clarify that this is for fun. This is a joke. This is not serious. Please do not take this as... Let me be clear. Let me be completely clear. I have no intent of fighting anybody, Poketuber or otherwise. So, please do not take this as, number one, an invitation to fight me, nor an indication of my intent to fight. I merely thought it would be funny, / interesting, / the people surely want this tier list of me ranking which Poketubers I could beat in a fight. Now, a lot of people reached out to me. Oh, okay, context. Okay, let's do this. I made a tweet. I want to make a video titled "Every Pokemon." I just said video so the normies would still respond. I want to make a video called "Every Pokemon YouTuber." I said YouTuber instead of YouTubist so the normies would respond. I could beat in a fight, but I'm not going to include anyone without permission. So if you want to be included, let me know here. Now, obviously, I wouldn't want someone to take this the wrong way. So, with the one exception, I did not include anyone who did not respond to this tweet. Because obviously I wanted people to feel comfortable and not to feel threatened or anything like that, because that's not my intention. I just thought it was funny. So, I had a bunch of responses. Now, I mostly chose people for this tier list who I felt were recognizable and or people I felt like I knew well enough that I could give an accurate analysis. Obviously, the list is kind of subjective, but... the whole thing is about who I'd beat in a situation I never intend to actually end up in. So for that reason, I think it's okay. So I chose the people that I thought would be interesting to talk about. So we have a pretty varied list of Poketubers here, and not entirely Poketubers. Some people who don't do Pokemon. Well, one person. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's the premise. So of course, when we're talking about fighting, right? We have to talk about the traits of the people involved, right? So I will tell you my stats. I'm 6'1". I'm extremely strong. If I had Pokédex entries, it would be like, he can move mountains with his body, with his bulging muscles that he works very hard on to maintain. I don't work out very often, but that's probably not obvious, because I'm so buff. I hope people know which of what I'm saying is a joke. Never mind. That's okay. It's actually fine either way. Anyway, so... I'm relatively fast. I ran track in high school. My PR was I broke 50 seconds in the 400-meter dash. However, if I run for much, I'm a sprinter, so I'm a sprintist. So if I run for too long, I throw up. Actually, my first cross-country race, nobody asked, but I'll tell you anyway. My first cross-country race, I threw up 3 times before finishing. It was like a 20-minute 5K race. I threw up 3 times, and my coach just laughed at me. And I would throw up after every 400, so I'd run for 50 seconds, then I would throw up. So basically, I'm pretty dangerous, not gonna lie. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about me throwing up anymore, because I didn't really intend to do that. Anyway, so with all that being said, we're gonna go in order. I've opened other people's tweets, because, so for example, we can talk about Francesco Perdini, a friend of mine, Alexis VGC. I'll zoom in a little. Too much. Zoom in a little here, too. Too much. Okay. So I want to include what they said in response to my tweet, because I think we can also take something of their confidence and then their, I don't really know, right? So we're going to figure it out based on partially what they tweet as well. So Francesco says, "Remember that I'm very tall, !" and then kissy face. So Francesco is one of the biggest, I think he is the biggest Italian VGC YouTuber. He's also a super nice guy. I met him in... I think I'd met him at tournaments before, but I got to know him a little bit, well, a lot better, in 2018. During spring break, I was in Italy for a little bit, and Francesco took time out of his day and, basically, took time off work to show me all around his city. So, it was a really, really positive experience and very nice. So, that's the first context I want to provide to you. The second context is that he's very tall. And what really bothers me about this tweet is that there's no worry here. Like, Francesco, he says, he's not saying, he doesn't feel like he has to tell me that he is, incredibly strong. He doesn't feel like he has to convey that he's worried. It's almost like he's baiting me to challenge him. You see what I'm saying? And the kissy face at the end is like, he's so confident. I can feel his confidence, and I don't think I wanted to have fate here, I'll be honest. And Francesco's very tall. I mentioned I'm 6'1". I would guess that he's 6'3", 6'4", or even taller. He's very, very tall. I don't know what that is in meters for my fellow Italians. So, with all that being said, let's review the evidence. He's taller than I am, which means his limbs are likely longer than mine. As I recall, his limbs are probably longer than mine based on how I think height works. And he's incredibly confident in his abilities, so much so that he felt the need to tell me the only thing he wanted to say in his defense was that he is tall, which is something that I surely knew because I have met him and hung out with him, and I like him, so I know that he is tall. I don't know why liking him means that I know that he's tall, but I remember what he looks like because he's a friend, right? We had good ice cream together. So, for many reasons, the answer to this one is obvious to me. I would never win here. Here's the reasons why. Number one, the confidence exuding from this man frightens me, and to say anything otherwise would be a lie. Number two, he was extremely hospitable and kind. One of the, it was one of the, my favorite experiences through Pokemon was going to Italy and seeing how hospitable, is that how I say that word? Hospitable? Hospitabili. The people who showed me around were, which included like Yuri, and Francesco and a couple other Italian people who were just incredibly kind and incredibly gracious with their time. And so even if I thought that I had a semblance of a chance in a physical fight, which to be honest I don't think so based on his kissy face response. So even if I did think that I had a chance to fight a friend, to fight someone who had been so gracious to me and had shown me amazing Italian ice cream and had shown me around his city, to fight someone like that and to win is also to lose. So I think even in a best case scenario, I'm 0% winning this fight. That's all I have to say about Francesco. Now, I'm doing these in the order that they responded under my tweet, or like the order that it showed up for me. That's how we'll do this. So next up is Nexus. So Nexus, this man is chaotic to say the least. So let's review the evidence. You never need to ask me for anything. You are consented. I could outrun, outbox, and out-eat free. Now the out-eat here is a reference. Nexus and I did a video which I was very proud of, where we ranked how delicious each Pokemon. I think it was how delicious each new Sword and Shield Pokemon would be. We did a tier list together. The way this guy's mind works is honestly miraculous. He is surely a genius, but not like. He's a level of genius in a different sense than I think a lot of people think when they think of like traditional geniuses. But that doesn't mean that he's any less of a genius. Now, I really like the energy from Nexus. I think that like I resonate a lot with it. I feel like it's chaotic, but not in the way that people traditionally mean chaotic. I feel like Nexus is always kind of defying expectations, but in a good way, you know? Like, you're like, okay, I think, you know, I've been told you're chaotic, I think I know what to expect. I've been told you're a genius, I think I know what to expect. And then he hits you with something totally out of left field, and you're like, that wasn't what I was expecting, but it works, and I don't really know how to feel about it. The confidence is here as well. I could outrun, outbox, and out-eat free. I don't know if he could outrun me, although I can only run for at max speed 50 seconds before throwing up, and that was at peak for me. That was peak shape, so I don't know if I could outrun him. I certainly couldn't outbox him. I don't know his height, but I've never boxed anybody, so I'm sure that I can't. If he's mentioning boxing, or even using box as a term for punching, I've never punched anybody, as far as I recall. I'm fairly certain I don't think I've ever punched anybody, and so, and the fact that this is something he's bringing up means that he is confident in his abilities both to punch and to box and to eat. Now, why is he bringing up eating here? I didn't ask you about eating. This is a physical competition, I think was the implication. So why is he bringing it up? I think that he's aware that there may be a situation where a contest is determined by eating, and he's even covered for the option. Needless to say, I can't even predict what Nexus is going to do. That's a 0%er for me. I don't think I ever beat Nexus ever. Joey. So, Joey's got a lot of interaction below this. A lot of people were talking about, young straw jump eating Wolfey. Oh my god, they ran damage calcs? Sorry, Wolfey, the calcs don't lie. Wow. I don't have max HP, what the heck? So Joey's quite the character. So, Joey is someone who I consider kind of to be my counterpart when it comes to single battling. He is, well, I can't say nice things about him now, because then I'll just look like I'm hyping me up. Okay, we're gonna take us a step back. Joey Pokeaim MD, longtime YouTubist, renowned singles battlist, played in many tournaments, whatever. Now, I've never met Joey in person. However, I've seen video of him in person at the Pokemon Cypher 2016, which is his verse is incredible. And if you I used to show it to my non-Pokemon friends, and I'd be like, "This slaps," and they'd be like, "We support you." What was I saying? So Joey has a couple defining characteristics. Number one, his jaw is very strong. His nickname isn't really the right word. His title is kind of Young Strong Jaw. Now, despite the fact that his jaw is very strong, I don't really know how that's relevant to our fight unless he intends to use it as a weapon, which, granted, he could. Now, you might think that I would put Joey up here because it's a guaranteed win. However, I know... Okay, we have to look at his response, right? I don't mind being in it. He's aloof. He doesn't mind being in it. He's indifferent. But don't just go lying to people, okay? So here's the thing. Obviously, I'm very strong. I'm very great. I'm very incredible, right? And Joey, you know, he's all right. He's all right. But I know that if I put Joey in the probably true category of that, I would guarantee to win. Which is, you know, I'm not saying that's where he's belonging. I'm just talking in hypotheticals here. He would probably, you know, make a big deal about it and say that I knew you were going to go lying to people. So, in kind of a tongue-in-cheek fashion, I think I'm actually going to put Joey down here in the 0% win category. Now, this might seem bizarre because I'm sure that anyone who's seen both of us can clearly, you know, maybe form their own inferences here. But now, I have maybe not done what Joey said here. Maybe I did just go lying to people. I'm just saying hypothetically, but he can't call it out because that would mean that, he acknowledges that it's probably the reverse. So, I think I'm going to lose the battle and win the war in this one. Joey, GG, it's a 0%er. Dan. Okay, so... Oh, Shiny Hunters. Where's he gonna go? Shiny Hunters. I met Dan in person. A-Drive. Regionals right before we all got stuck inside. You, like me perhaps, saw Dan online for many years. I've followed Dan since 2017. I met him, you know, in early 2020, right? So, it may, you know, maybe this will come as a surprise. This might come as a surprise to people who haven't met him in person. I think for anyone who's met him in person, this should not be surprising. A-Drive has an aura. A-Drive has, like, a very intense aura. In fact, out of everyone on this list, like, I think that I would rather fight... I think A-Drive is probably in raw power formies, in raw power terms, he's probably the strongest. Not only is he a dad, which went okay, there's two types of buffs, I think, at least that I know of, two types of major buffs. The first is old man / old lady strength. My friends and I have talked about this for years. I'm not saying Dan is an old man. This is the type of buff that Dan does not have. But there's old man strength and / old lady strength, depending on who you're dealing with. And my friends and I noticed this a while ago that, like, there's something about certain old elderly people who they just exude power, right? And then there's parent energy, so dad or mom energy, right? And Dan is a father, and I got the feeling that Dan was incredibly powerful before he was a father, but he's, like, blinding to look at now. I felt like my skin was gonna, like, evaporate just by being in his presence. He's incredibly driven as an individual as well, so, like, even taking apart, like, just him on his own, right? Even if he was just, like, a robot. If I had to fight a robot with A-Drive's latent abilities, no way. But then when you take in his personality and his intellect, there's no way. And, I mean, you know, I think that, like, if we look at this, he didn't even capitalize. He didn't even give me an apostrophe. Like, he knows it. Like, he can't, there's no playing around here. Like, he knows for sure, and, like, he says, it'd destroy you. And it would destroy me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is not a good matchup for your boy. Like I said, the latent power coming off of this guy is not something that I would recommend anyone interacts with. And I'm not saying, like, you know, he's not super nice or super friendly, because that's very true. But, like, underneath it all is this incredible aura that, like, yeah, just, it's scary. I'm not fighting A-Drive, so that's a guaranteed loss, 100%. Okay, next up we have John. So, John is someone who I've known for years. I've never met him in person, but he's been a part of draft leagues that I've been a part of for a long time. And he's someone I consider, like, a rival in the draft league, in draft league battling. And so he and I have played multiple times. We've gone back and forth. He's won some. I've won some. He's a really nice guy. Here's the deal. I played John in the WBE Season 4. And I won in a way that was, I'm going to be blunt, it was a little one-sided. And John, to my knowledge, felt sad about that. And I'm really sorry, and I feel bad about it. I also beat him, I also forgot about this, I beat him in the finals of a previous season of the WBE. I think it was was it the Sliggoo one, or was it the Duocean one? I forget. Wait, it was Season 2, right? No, it was Season 1. It was Sliggoo. Was it Season 1? Wait, now I'm confused. It would have been Season 1, right? Yeah, Swampert, yeah. You beat me in the finals, now you want to be able to say you beat me up. Tough scene, but permission granted. I can't do this to my boy John. I like John a lot. I have a lot of respect for him as a battler. Also, like, something that I like about John is that he conducts himself in such a positive way online, which is very difficult to do. It's something that sometimes I personally struggle with doing. And so I think to kind of, after, you know, beating John in the last season of the WBE, he brings up the finals here. I don't have it in my heart. I'm going to be completely honest, to say anything negative about him. Also, I've never met him in person, so to overestimate my own abilities and to underestimate his, I think would be a mistake. So for me, this is a 0% win. I think that I'd rather take a loss in a physical fight than feel terrible about putting John through any more emotional trauma than I already have. So, John, it's a dub. K-Cray. Okay, Caitlin's also someone who I've known for a while through the Draft League community. I think we've met in person. I'm pretty sure she was at Worlds. I'm pretty sure we met in person. Count me in, but I'm pretty scrappy. And then this emoji. This emoji, I don't know what to call it. Angry? Like, it's not angry. It's like angry, determined. I don't know what it's called. At first I thought this was like, I was like, okay, like this is probably like favorable to even, maybe unlikely. I was running damage calcs, and like, here's the thing. People who consider themselves scrappy are dangerous. Like, scrappiness in a fight is extremely valuable, I think. Adaptability, right? That's a feature of scrappy. Speed, that's something that's built into the descriptor of scrappy. And to say you're pretty scrappy, here's the thing about, like, if you say I am pretty and then any X trait, it doesn't mean you're pretty X trait, it means you are extremely X trait. Like, if I say, yeah, I'm pretty bad at Pokemon, you know what that means, right? I'm not saying I'm a little bit, it's like, you use pretty to mean kind of the opposite. Pretty is a word typically meaning, you know, maybe a little, right? Like, oh, I'm somewhat scrappy, right? If Caitlin had said, I'm somewhat scrappy, then maybe I'd say, all right, maybe I have a shot here. But to describe yourself as pretty scrappy, because I feel like if fighting types, fighting styles were like kind of type matchups, right, in Pokemon, I would think that scrappiness is going to be one of my main weaknesses, right? I'm probably best suited to someone who's going to be very honorable, very noble, you know, because that way I can be very underhanded and sneaky. But if someone is scrappy, I can't really use my tactics because they're going to be ready for it and they're fast. So, this is not a loss. I actually, for this one, I ran some damage calcs. Auto loss. I can't win. Callum. Okay, Hoodlum Callum. So Callum is someone who I have met in person, several times, actually. Very nice guy. I like him a lot. Callum is like 6 foot, 7 foot. Okay? He's a super nice guy. I had kind of a hard time picturing him being violent. But like Callum is another one where like if a robot took over his body, it would be over. It would be over. And like, although I don't really think that it's necessarily in Callum's personality to fight, I wouldn't want to know the circumstances in which we are fighting in the first place. And so, physically, I would lose, right? And there's more to these fights than just physical, right? Let's see what Callum says in his message. Oh, go on then. Why is nobody worried about fighting me? Why does nobody express concern? He's so nonchalant. And actually, just looking at this message, I realize he knows. He knows what this message tells me is the subtext here is, oh, okay, well, you know, if we had to fight, I wouldn't be concerned about you at all. And I think that's probably fair. Like, I don't know. Like, Callum has a physical advantage over me. I also feel like he's hard to fluster. And if I'm going to win a fight, I'm going to have to fluster the opponent. I'm not winning via traditional means, right? Like, I'm going to play mental games. And the complete lackadaisical nature of this reply confirms the fact that in addition to his physical advantage over me, the mental advantage is also there. So, that's a loss. Rose. Okay, so Rose is someone who is a Pokemon commentator. She joined the scene, I want to say late 2018 or sometime 2019. Super, super nice. Super, super sweet. However, certainly if I had to say it, she's scrappy. Now, Rose is someone, you know, I've met in person. I am taller than her. I finally have a height advantage, right? I'm like, okay, you know, maybe if it came to it, of course, like, Rose, nothing personal. Like, you know, I wouldn't want to do it, but if it came down to it, I could probably win. So then I went to this tweet, and there's a couple things about this tweet that you would like to see. Okay, first of all, the text itself. Who would win, comma, me or you? Thinking emoji! She dropped a thinking emoji on me, which is like, okay, I'm scared. And then I went into the comments. Hashtag Team Necra. Necra is Rose's handle. Hashtag Team Necra. Hashtag Team Necra, okay? Wolfey, okay. But the guy who votes for Wolfey has this guy! And the bio is Tempo X is my dad! Oh, it looks like if I were to make a burner account. I feel like this must be my burner. When did they join? Okay, this is it. When did they join? February 2020. That's relatively recently. Okay, so the comments are all hashtag Team Necra, hashtag Team Necra, hashtag Team Necra, and then this guy uses me crying emoji, crying laughing emoji, don't know what to make of that. And then I look, and I see that it has just under 70 likes, the forbidden number. There is some, like, otherworldly, like, messaging going on here, and I don't think I have to convince anyone of that. I think it should be very apparent that, like, I feel like Rosemary has, like, some, like, summoning abilities or something. Like, I feel like she has latent powers that she is hiding for the moment. And I'm gonna be honest, maybe I'm being dramatic, right? It's just a Twitter thread. Maybe there's nothing here. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But I'm also gonna be honest, this tweet and everything surrounding this tweet, the 3 replies, the 69 likes, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, those are all multiples of 3. Something is going on here. And I don't want to mess with it. Like, sure, maybe I'm being dramatic. Maybe I'm reading too much into things. But if I show up to a fight and Rosemary turns me into a toad, like, I'm going to feel like an idiot because the signs were all there. So we're not messing with this girl at all. Rosemary's going into the 0% tier. I never beat this girl, ever. Okay, moving on. Toph! Okay, Toph. So Toph is not a he's not a Pokemon YouTuber. He actually acknowledges this. But you can include me anyway if you want a little bit of that Smash spice. So here's the thing about Toph. This is like a very level-headed response. If anyone else had said this, I would say, okay, I don't get the sense that they're super confident in their abilities, right? It seems very, like, calm, very measured, very polite, right? Like, hey, if you would like to include me, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Here's the thing. I have never once seen a bad take from Toph. Toph is, I don't know if I explained this. My brain's all over the place. I didn't script any of this, just so you know. So this is all, like, off. I'm, like, making this all up as, like, I mean, I scripted all of this. It's very prepared. But if I get distracted, that's why. I think it's pretty clear I'm not reading off the script. Or anything. I actually am, yeah, I'm coming up with this as I do it. For example, just to break the fourth wall a little bit, I saw that Rosemary's tweet had 69 likes, like, as I was, doing that section. So, anyway. Toph is someone, he's a Smash commentator. He is a part of legendary commentator duo Scar and Toph, which were, when I was first getting into following Melee specifically, those were like, they're incredible. They're an incredible duo. Like, I think, honestly, any commentator could watch those two of any game and be like, I could learn from these two. Like, I think they're honestly incredible. Like, it's, when I watch Scar and Toph commentate Melee, I'm like, this is an art form. Like, this is beyond commentary. That's how I feel. I'm a Scar and Toph fan. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, Toph also has this incredible capacity where to be, like, he always has intelligent and good takes on things, and he is willing to engage in Twitter discourse about them, which is how I see them. Twitter is not a good place for discourse. I think that should be obvious to anyone who's used the medium. It's actually a place that, in my opinion, encourages lack of discourse, right? It's much easier to be quippy and say something maybe provocative rather than to actually try to engage in, like, an honest and, you know, what's the word I want? Like a good faith discussion with people. But Toph, I've seen time and time again do it in a way that I think is very successful. And I'm not a part of the things that he's been talking about, but nonetheless, like, I still see it and I'm still very impressed by it, especially on a medium like Twitter. So, after reviewing the evidence, I think that Toph's measured and calm response here is actually, like, it's not indicative of a lack of confidence. It's just an indication of his willingness to make, like, intelligent decisions, right? He's covered all the options here. If he wins the fight, he's like, well, I wasn't super confident. Good fight. And if he loses the fight, he says, well, you know, I wasn't super confident. Like, I'm just happy to be a part of this, you know? He's covered every option, and I don't think that I should be wisely underestimating somebody who has that kind of potential, even in casual Twitter discourse, right? Like, how this guy's mind works is impressive. So we're putting him in the there's no way tier. I think this is an auto loss, probably. Please work. Okay, cool. Next up, okay, Tama. So Tama is someone who I have followed online for a while. I don't believe we've ever met in person. If we have, I'm sorry, but I'm almost positive we have not. In the context of fighting, and strictly in the context of fighting, but okay, let's review her message first. Fight me 101 in the ring, bro. This reinforces my point. In the context of fighting, I am terrified of Tama. I can't describe it, but she has, similar to Dan, but I get it from an online, like from her online presence. She has this aura, and it's scary. Like, I feel like she knows stuff, and I don't know what she knows, and it scares me, and I don't want to mess with it. And this, all lowercase, fight me 101. I don't know what this means. What do you mean 101? Like, isn't that like a course number? Like, are you taking a class? And then in the ring, no mention of rings anywhere here, Tama. Why are you mentioning rings? And then, bro, to make it casual, there's so much out of all the responses I read, this one instilled both confusion and fear in my heart. And I still, after looking at it, after thinking about it, and why did 139 other people like it? I liked it so I wouldn't get, like, smacked, but, like, why did all these people like it? What did I miss? You know? Like, what does this mean? What do you mean, fight me 101 in the ring, bro? What does 101 mean? Why are we in a ring? Ring I can kind of get, right? It's a fight, maybe. It's a boxing ring. That's, like, not a far leap. Why 101? Why am I bro? Like, why no punctuation? Why no capitals? Like, there's so much going on here. I don't know. I stand by what I said. This girl knows stuff, and I don't know what she knows, and I'm not messing with it. That's an auto loss. That is 100% an auto loss. I am not, like, not only is this an auto loss, that, like, I would go even further, and I would say that nobody should be engaging in martial combat with Tama unless they know what she knows, because I don't know what she knows, and I don't intend to find out via physical combat. Next up, we have Kyle A, another person from the Draft League community. Really nice guy. I have to tell you, for those of you unfamiliar with Kyle A, his motto is that he's never lost. This is a confident message. Square up. And he actually, unlike many of my other fellow Poketubing compatriots, including the capital letter. This is a confident message, and it reinforces the fact that Kyle's motto, kind of, is that he's never lost. Kyle about to show everyone that he never loses, even on fictional real fist fights. I got 5 on Kyle. Make it 10. I'm broke. We can't all drop 100... I don't know. I don't know what this is. Kyle can't lose in a fight because never lost. The people know. The people know. I can't beat Kyle A. And actually, Kyle is the only person to ever knock me out of the WBE. In the 4 seasons I've played, I have been eliminated 1 time, and it was to Kyle in the last season. I think that should probably give you some indication that I was foolish to challenge him once. I will not make the same mistake twice. J-Wits. J-Wits says, couldn't include me Devilface. Now, I don't know if this actually is consent to be a part of the list. I hope so. If not, I'm really sorry, Josh. I put J-Wits in the same category as Tama, in that in the context of a physical fight, first of all, I know that J-Wits is very passionate about basketball. So that's already not a good sign for me, because every time I played basketball in gym class, I would jam a finger and it would hurt. It's already a disadvantage. He's the one person to include a devil emoji. And again, I want to stress, I think maybe both Tama and J-Wits, to me, feel like they have this wisdom, right? Like, I know they've been doing YouTube for a while. Wait, actually, I have a fun story. You guys want to hear can I tell a story about J-Wits? Back in the day, in 2010, 2009, or 2011, like somewhere in there, I used to play the trading card game, right? I used to play the trading card game, and I was active on, like, these online forums. Now, keep in mind, I was a kid. Like, I was, like, in my early teens at this point. And I used to trade with people online. Like, it was this whole system. I don't know if they must still do this. Like, there would be these forums, and you'd go on the forums, and you could, like, bargain and haggle and be like, hey, I want this card that you have. I will trade you this card that I have. And so, I ended up trading with J-Wits, like, way before any of his YouTube stuff got big, I think. I remember checking, like, yeah, like, it was, like, I think it was maybe early on when he was doing YouTube, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he wasn't even doing YouTube, but I traded with him. And I know this because whenever he traded with people, he would sign the cards. And so I have a card signed by J-Wits from, like, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. it probably wasn't 2011 because I started playing VGC in 2011. But yeah, let's say 2010 maybe. And then he goes on to be like this, like he blows up and he's got like over 1 million YouTube subscribers and he makes great content. And I have a card. I'll find the card. It's at my home in where I grew up, in my parents' house. So I'll find the card somewhere, and if you guys are interested, and I can show it. But I think it's like purple. I know it's in a blue binder. Like I can picture it. Yeah. So I don't know. I traded cards with Jaywitz before either of us were kind of, at least before I was for sure doing anything close to YouTube. Before I even played VGC. And yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's my little Jaywitz illusion. But back to whether or not I would win a fight. He's been doing this for a while, and I think similar to Tama, there's a certain kind of aura of wisdom around him, and the confidence here, he actually includes both a capital letter and an apostrophe, which is, again, something that many Pokemon YouTubers did not do. So I think it should be pretty obvious at this point I'm not winning this fight, especially given someone who used to trade with me for a while. Hang on, someone's calling me like on repeat, so I'm going to answer that call in case it's something important. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, I am back. There was no crisis. Okay, continuing on. We're nearly at the end of our list. Now, next up we have Sierra Dawn. Now, I wanted to include Sierra. I haven't met her in person, but she seems very nice. However, there was a viral tweet going around, you know, not like 100 million or anything, but got a lot of attention within the Pokemon community of Sierra winning a fight using Togekiss, which flinched to Primarina 3 times. Now, I saw some people criticizing, you know, Pokemon as a result of this. I saw some people being like, Pokemon's a bad game! Wow, like, so lucky! And first of all, I wanted to just say, a Serene Grace Togekiss flinching 3 times in a row, even though it looks really fancy, is a 15% chance, okay? Factoring in accuracy. It's 0.6 times 0.95 to the 3rd power. Like that fraction to the 3rd power. It's like 0.57 to the 3rd power, which is 15%. It's a 15% chance of flinching, meaning, even though it looks flashy, you know, it's not actually that lucky. You actually have a higher chance of missing a Draco Meteor than you do of... You have a higher chance of getting 3 flinches from one Togekiss in a one-on-one than you do of missing a Draco Meteor. So I wanted to include her just so I could say this publicly, because I saw so many people, being like, Pokemon's a bad game! Or like, wow, she's so lucky, she only got hacks! It's a 15% chance if it's Serene Grace, which, you know, even if it's not Serene Grace, the odds aren't that incredible. So, and you can't tell from the clips. So, everyone chill. Everyone chill. I want to say that. Now, putting that aside, wow! Okay, Sierra Dawn is so lucky. I'm sure that if we fought, she would get super lucky and I would lose because she's so lucky. She'd probably even get an incredibly small chance of winning, like 15%. She says, also supposed permission to be included if you dare fight a girl. Now, I haven't really considered gender in terms of who I'm fighting because, frankly, I'm confident I'd lose to pretty much everybody. So, yeah, I do dare include Sierra. Yeah, and even actually here, it's a reference to this. If you thought she knows how to make you flinch. So, yeah, obviously, 50% is super lucky. So she goes in the I'd never win tier. Now, we have 3 people left. Next up, we have Patters. So, Patters is someone who I met in person in June or July, summer of 2018. I can't claim to know Patters especially well. I spent 1 weekend with him. We've talked online a couple times, did a couple draft leagues together. But everything that I've seen from him and everything that I got from meeting him in person, he's just such a nice dude. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it can be very difficult to maintain like a positive or to remain positive despite being online, despite being in the Pokemon community. There's lots of reasons why people would have trouble being positive. But I've only ever seen good things from this guy. I feel like he's like, I don't know. I am extrapolating a little from the data I have, but my impression is that like he kind of just like does his own thing, is happy when other people want to be involved, like isn't too upset when people don't want to be involved, like just like I don't know, focuses on himself, focuses on making good content. I don't know him super well, right? But I like him. Everything that I've seen from him includes that he'd be indicates that he'd be very, very nice. He's also tall. So here's the deal. Let's say I fought Patters and I won. Would that really be a victory? Like, would that really be good for me? Would I really want to live with myself knowing this guy who appears to be super nice and very genuine and like just like doing his own thing, like that I caused him physical harm, which might lead to emotional harm, right? What if it's bad for his channel? I have to live with that. What if like, Patters is putting a lot of good stuff out into the world? Am I comfortable saying like I would be happy to have a chance at risking that? No, of course not. That would be that would be bad for me, personally. It's not selfless, it's selfish. I would feel bad, which is not something that I want to feel, if bad things happen to Patters on my behalf. So even if I beat him in a physical fight, in the long run, I would lose. Next up was Leonhardt. So this is really cool. So I don't know Leonhardt at all. I truthfully, I do not. I'm somewhat familiar with his videos, but there was a viral video of him going around somewhat recently, and it was really, really interesting and really nice. I remember there was one where he talks about raising like a bunch of money for charity. Effectively, the gist of it, and I really apologize if I'm butchering this because I'm an idiot, but he basically was my understanding is that, if I remember correctly, please, he was a lawyer and he wasn't happy being a lawyer, and so he stopped being a lawyer in order to start doing he does pack openings for, I think, primarily. Yeah, that is supported by this. He does pack openings, and he was a lawyer, and it was he was doing some relatively high paying job, is my understanding of it, and he quit it to follow his passion and to do what he loves. And I think that's really inspiring. I think that's really, really cool. And I'm here for it, and I'm happy that it seems to be working out for him. I believe he's almost at 1 million subscribers. So, again, not someone I know super well, so I can only extrapolate so much, but I do know for a fact that he raises a lot of money for charity consistently. I think he does at least one annual fundraiser and probably more. And also, to my understanding, I think he's actually pretty buff. We're going to do it live. He has high quality artwork, nearly 1 million subscriber. I can't really tell. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I can't really tell, but he certainly. I think that it's not an exaggeration to say that it certainly looks like he would be able to beat me in a fight. So between the good that he does for the world, this is what I consider a very humble but also kind of tongue-in-cheek, funny response. I think there's almost no chance that I could win. Now, you might remember earlier, for the final person, who is it gonna be? You might remember earlier that I said nearly everyone responded. Well, that was true. Nearly everyone did respond, with one exception. Aaron Cybertron Zhang. Now, Aaron's one of my best friends in all of, well, actually in all of anything, but especially through Pokemon. Someone I've known since my very first tournament. Even before then, I think we talked online. Someone who's really been there for my entire Pokemon journey. Aaron didn't respond to my tweet. However, because he's one of my best friends, I felt like I could include him anyway, despite the fact that he didn't respond. Now, I wanted to include Aaron for one reason. You might think that I'm going to say, oh, he's very easy, I could win 100%. No. I included Aaron as a warning to the rest of you. Under no circumstances should you ever engage in any kind of physical combat with this guy. Now, to be clear, Aaron is very calm, he's very measured. I admire a lot his patience, of his self-control, right? I'm not really worried for you all. However, this man has a power beyond human comprehension, and I'm just gonna say it. I sense it at times when I'm around him. He's incredibly powerful. It's honestly, I am concerned for anyone who ever has to feel a fraction of it. Like, I feel like Aaron Zhang is like the Shaggy memes, when Shaggy was like, oh, like, you were pretty strong, you made me use like 10% of my power, you know? Like, those memes, that's how I feel about Aaron. I feel like the strength, the raw strength, coming off of this guy is just incredible. And in addition to that, that's just his physical. That's just his latent physical abilities, right? Even beyond that, Aaron's mind would be, like, Aaron's the kind of guy where, like, if we were in, like, an anime or a TV show, we'd be like, we're happy he's on our side, you know? Like, I think that Aaron is one of the most determined and driven people I've ever met, and he also has this ability to consistently, like, make the right decision, right? Even when that decision may be unclear. Like, it might not be obvious what the right thing to do is. But despite that, Aaron, I feel like, is always consistently making good decisions. So, I think that out of everyone in this fight, or everyone in this list, I think I said Dan was the one I'd least like to fight, but Aaron is up there. Aaron is right up there with him. I would not, like, if it came down to it, and if Aaron, like, lost control of his, if someone else took over Aaron's body and had the ability to do, like, to pilot his body, and I had to fight against them, I think Aaron could beat the rest of this list combined. I don't think it would be close. I don't think he would need to use 10% of his power. Oh, especially Joey. Yeah, Aaron would wash Joey. Holy cow. Anyway, that's my whole tier list of who I would win against in a fight, like, for certain Pokemon YouTubists. So, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun making this right now. I laughed a lot. It wasn't obvious, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that I didn't rub anybody the wrong way. If you did, I apologize for rubbing. I mean, if I did, I apologize for rubbing. Whatever. But yeah, this is fun. I don't really know how I would follow something like this up, but if you enjoyed this kind of content, I can give it some thought and come up with other things like it. So, yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Check out all these great people on the list. If anyone, I mean, they're all good creators. So if you're interested in other Pokemon YouTubers, yeah, you can check any of these people out, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. So, except for Toph, if you're wanting Pokemon, he doesn't do Pokemon, but you can find very high level content in general from Toph. So, anyway, with all that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to do whatever you want, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.